So to talk a little bit about the style of training and the course syllabus. So there are lots of different styles of 200-hour trainings you could do, but predominantly you're going to find that they're either in Vinyasa or Ashtanga. And that is really because as a 200-hour, it's your first building block. So it's the way that you get qualified to then get insurance to teach yoga classes. So you want to make sure that your sequence that you're learning has covered as many yoga poses as possible so that you know how to teach those poses in all their anatomy and their alignment, etc. So a Vinyasa and Ashtanga sequence covers that. And then if you want to then go on and specialize in things like pregnancy yoga or yin yoga or kids yoga or restorative yoga, it's endless, then you go on and do continued education, which again are registered courses like we have with Yoga Alliance for continued education. But your 200-hour tends to be in either Vinyasa or Ashtanga. And if you learn a flowing sequence, it's then really easy for you to pare that back and pick individual poses to then make a more static sequence for beginners or the elderly or something like that. But if you only ever learn a static, really slow sequence, it's quite hard then for you to know how to build it up, make it flow, and you'd have to go to an additional sequencing training. Whereas when you learn a flowing sequence, you have the strongest backbone to your teaching. So ours is a 200-hour Vinyasa, which is a flowing sequence, and that is your yoga teacher training. So Yoga Alliance then specify, Yoga Alliance are the highest level of certification you can have in a yoga teacher training, and it's recognized globally. So it's really important that you go for a teacher training that is Yoga Alliance certified. And they ask for a set of assessment criteria. So when you want to be a yoga training school, they are really rigorous in checking all of your course material and making sure that it upholds those standards of qualification, which is great for you guys because it means that you've got a really high quality training school. And it means for us that we need to stick to the syllabus and this criteria. So what they ask for is that your techniques, training and practices make up 100 hours of the 200-hour training. And then you have analytical training in teaching and practicing as well. And that the techniques and the guided Vinyasa practice of those techniques themselves. So it needs Vinyasa techniques, training and practice, which is 100 hours. Analytical training in teaching and practicing those techniques and guided Vinyasa practice of the techniques themselves. Then there's the teaching methodology. So this is like principles of demonstration, observation, correcting, communication, skills, including like group dynamics, time management, establishing priorities and boundaries, etc. So that's 25 hours of the set curriculum. Then you have the anatomy and the physiology, okay, and that is 20 hours of the curriculum. So that would include, but it's not limited to, the human physical anatomy and the physiology, so like bodily systems, organs, muscles, bones, etc. But can also include the energetic system, such as the chakras, the nadis, all these things that you will learn about as well. And yoga philosophy. So you've got lifestyle and ethics for yoga teachers, so that's 30 hours of the content. And that is the study of yoga philosophies, traditional texts like the Yoga Sutras, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, or the Bhagavad Gita, for example. And you'll get a really chunky course book that we've created for you, which has summaries of all of these texts in them to help you learn. But also yoga lifestyle, like the concept of non-violence, ahimsa, which is one of the main limbs of yoga, dharma and karma, which we'll talk about, ethics for yoga teachers, so the student-teachant relationship as well, community that you'll be building, understanding the value of teaching yoga as a service and being connected to others, which we call seva, and then practicum. So you've got 10 hours of practice teaching. This doesn't include like observing and giving feedback. This is about receiving and giving, teaching yourself. So, and within these hours, there are contact and non-contact requirements too. And then you have additional hours. Now, this is really important because basically what a yoga teacher training school can do is then kind of create their extra style. So the additional hours can be allocated to a subject that the course leader or the school feels really important. And that's what kind of differentiates between different styles of Vinyasa trainings. So some might feel like anatomy is really important. Some might feel like philosophy is really important. For us, we really focus on this self-development, so psychology and basically mental health. And then then we really look at how that connects to your physical health as well. So there's a real slant on mental health and physical health within this, which we feel, you know, gives those really practical tools that you can then take into so many environments outside of your yoga teaching as well. So that's a little bit about our course style and syllabus.